What is happening at J Gamer Dude here? And Nintendo is a company that just hates fun, I guess. It hates its fans, it hates a lot of things, and it is fundamentally clear that it hates competition, among other things. We've already seen, Nintendo go after Power World, we've seen Nintendo go after Yuzu, we've seen Nintendo go after some poor kid who had Mario at his birthday party. So let's talk about Nintendo going down against Ryujinx specifically. And just before I get into the details of the actual story in question, just wanted to say, hey, if you like my videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. And actually from this video onwards, I am actually going to be uploading to Spotify as well. So if you prefer to actually take in my videos but in a audio format, or you just prefer just audio format by itself, absolutely, I'll chuck in a link to my Spotify as well. So just wanted to kind of mention that out there. I'll also be starting to upload there as well. Let's just jump back into the actual talk with Nintendo pretty much. So Nintendo may have won its battle with the most popular Nintendo Switch emulator in the business, which was Yuzu, that it sued the hell out of back in March, which was real yeah, that was rough. But at the end of the day, everyone knew that there was also another big emulator in the market that would pretty much be gathering a lot more attention. That is specifically Ryujinx. And now its download page is empty, the GitHub is gone, and its Twitter is pretty much just completely dead. Official Discord has now got a possible explanation as to why or what may be happening. So this is actually a screenshot by Ryujinx from @RyujinxEMU. So Rip in Peri Peri, nice, sent out the following message. Yesterday, GDK-chan was contacted by Nintendo and offered an agreement to stop working on the project, remove the organization and all related assets he's in control of. While awaiting confirmation on whether he would take this agreement, the organization has been removed. So I think it's safe to say what the outcome is. Rather than leave you with only panic and speculation, I decided to write this short message to give some closure. These words are my own. I do not want to speak for anyone else here, so just remember that while reading. Thank you to everyone who contributed code, documentation, or issue reports to the project. Thank you all for following us throughout the development. I was able to learn a lot of really neat things about games that I love, enjoy them with renewed qualities and in unique circumstances, and I'm sure you all have experiences that are similarly special. I'm extending my own massive, and it just kind of ends there. I'm pretty sure there's more. Let me just see the replies on this. I'm extending my own massive thanks to our moderation team who have been here through some rough circumstances and always found ways to make light of it. So pretty much it's just all around a thank you message. And effectively what's happened is, looks like that, well, I guess there's no way of saying it without absolutely sounding threatening. It looks like Nintendo have actually reached out to the lead developer of the Ryujinx emulator, and they attempted to try and put a stop to it. As for what reasoning they could potentially have, well, it's obvious, because Nintendo hates emulation. They hate not being able to play games on this hardware in which it was intended for, even if playing on the intended hardware provides you with a subpar experience as a whole, because as we all know, people prefer either games to look a bit better, to play a bit better, whether it be through frame rate, whether it be through specifically the resolution improvements as well. There's a number of different things that could potentially, be reasons for people wanting to play games in other methods or ways. However, worth pointing out that while emulation by all accounts isn't necessarily illegal, it's just that people are in fact going, there are people out there, and there's no way we can't not deny the fact, or we need to acknowledge the fact, I guess I should say, that there are people out there that are doing things illegally as well by downloading games that they don't necessarily own rather than dumping their own copies of games, because instead what people are doing are buying games, dumping their copies onto the internet for other people to download so that they don't have to pay for the game, which is absolutely fair. That usually it's the bad apples that ruin the bunch ultimately, however small they may be, but Nintendo is not particularly innocent of anything either. At the end of the day, they are trying to go after other possible avenues of being able to play games in other different ways. Again, they go in after Dolphin, they went after, well, I wonder if Dolphin is still running, because they definitely went after him when they tried to create a Steam page. Yuzu is no more, and Ryujinx is now no more, and I'm pretty sure people are now creating forks of the open source code that was available to both of these projects. So while emulation won't ever truly die, because the people who are committed to emulation will always continue to be committed, and that has always been the case. Whether it be me playing PS2 or PSP games on my phone, for example, and it running fairly well, Nintendo is the type of company that is more likely to fight against emulators over and over and over again. And of course they did do a cease and desist note towards, or they sent one towards GitHub to shut down a bunch of repositories that had fairly similar code to that of Yuzu emulator, and there was a bunch of other emulators that got shut down in the process of it as well. And I mean, like, Nintendo is the type to also go after people who have a Mario themed birthday party as well, because that is actually a thing that did happen before. So it really does suck to see the whole situation go down. Users of Tsuyu is still available somehow. Okay, that's interesting. I hadn't actually been aware that Tsuyu is still running. I thought they went after that one a while ago. So yeah, it's the end of the Ryujinx emulator, and unfortunately there is very little to nothing at all that can really be done about it. Again, Nintendo has just gone after him. This is what their page now officially looks like. It's just their download page specifically, it's just completely empty. Worth pointing out though, GitHub does not have a DMCA takedown request for Ryujinx, so they seem to have done it voluntarily, among other things. So, with all that being said, I am curious to see what the future looks like for Switch emulation. We do still have Tsuyu, but that really isn't much, considering that Yuzu and Ryujinx have been just around for so much longer, that those have been proven to be more successful projects as a whole. Nintendo hates fun and enjoyment, because there are people who prefer to play games in other different ways, or at least, on more comfortable pieces of hardware. Because yeah, well, the Switch isn't the most comfortable way to play. You could probably get a Pro controller and do the other methods in that way, but at the end of it all, we had something, we now no longer have it, so I feel like it's really just a matter of seeing where things go from here. With all of that being said though, I'm curious to know what you guys have to say about the second big emulator to go down after Yuzu, in the form of Ryujinx's not necessarily takedown, but sort of voluntary withdrawal from the market. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. And with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.